welcome to this new series that I'm doing. This is going to be on a game called House Flipper. And if you're not familiar with the game, essentially what you do is you go out and you uh, take on jobs to improve or fix up a client's home or yard. And later on in the game, you can start to purchase your own properties, fix them up, and then sell them to potential clients as well. Okay, now this is telling us about all the new DLC that are come out for the game. So if you haven't actually played the game before, a little bit of background on the menu. So we have the option here to start our new game, and the first thing you want to do, however, in this section here, is select your profile. Now you've got 4 slots that you can save your profile into. This first one here is where I've been testing the game out to make sure that video, audio, things like that are working at least somewhat decently. And I've created the second profile for the series. And so you create or select whichever profile you want to play for that particular session, and then you can either start a new game, or there'll be another button up in here that says continue game if you've been playing it prior to this. You also have the option here to see what DLC are available and which ones you already own. As you can see here, I've already got most of the available DLC for the game. Luxury Flipper hasn't been released yet, and they're also working on a second one with pets. So the Cyberpunk Flipper and the Apocalypse Flipper, the last time I checked, those were free. So if you own the base game, you can actually have like Steam or whatever game library you use to say, hey, I want those as well, and you can get those. Now, Garden Flipper and House Flipper are 2 DLCs that you do have to purchase. HGTV adds on the outside. Garden Flipper adds on the outside yard area where you can mow, weed, and plant flowers and shrubs and things like that for the clients. You can even take care of their trees and whatnot. The HGTV House Flipper adds additional features and content that you might see on the HGTV Flipper shows that they have. Okay, so we don't really need to select any of these because we've already got them, and we can't do anything about luxury because it's not available yet. So we're going to go ahead and go back. Your settings are the typical ones you're going to find. You can adjust the sound settings and whatnot. The control on WASD if you want to remap those or whatever. The advanced controls are going to let you do like your shadow quality, things like that. Like if your machine isn't quite up to speed to run some of the features, you can disable them if you want to. I've got motion blur disabled because it makes me dizzy and gives me a headache. I have to turn that off on nearly every video game. And I've turned fog off just because I like the scenery and I want to be able to see it. Also, it can sometimes interfere with your ability to see what I'm doing. So I have the luxury of not having to worry about YouTube, having to do compression and all that kind of stuff. So I can typically see things that you won't necessarily see on the video with fog enabled. So I just got that turned off. Graphics, as you would expect, I'll go ahead and set those to whatever is appropriate for your system. Now, gameplay lets you change how the actual game itself is going to be played. You can turn the mini-map on or off. If you've just started the game, I would recommend leaving that on because you can get perks in the game as you advance your career that will help display dirt and weeds and things like that on the mini-map. Some of these are really hard to find. You'll see as we get into the gameplay, some of the dirt is really hard to find. If you have a aversion to insects, you can turn these cockroaches into broken glass. In the game, you unlock a vacuum where you can go around and clean up roach nests, and this just changes it into glass. The mole is kind of freaky if you don't like critters, because there's mole holes that you get in the grass later on where you have to go and chase them out. So that can be a little freaky for people if they don't like critters. They can turn those off if they want. I'm not entirely sure what this one is. I've got it turned off right now. I think it's off by default. If you're a lady, you can change your arm. Actually, we've got more stuff here now. Hey, I didn't know that. You You can either have a man's hand, arm, when you see yourself using the tools, or a lady's arm. You can even change it into a Santa hand, zombies, cyborgs, and all that kind of stuff. So if you're wanting to switch it up a little bit, go right ahead. I've got the day and night mode disabled. Nighttime makes it a little hard to see what you're doing on the video, so for your benefit, I've disabled that for you. Your highlight color, change it to whatever you want it to be. So when you hover over things, it'll change the color on there. Sometimes it's hard to see blues if you're, depending on when the color is around you. So you can change that to something else if you need to, or if you just prefer a different color. The assemble mode, I've never really understood what this does, because it's always been on easy, and I honestly don't remember if that's been the case in my previous try of the game. So I think what this is going to do is if you go into hard mode, it's going to add more steps into the assembly of things like shower stalls or toilets, adding sinks in or whatever, because you have to sometimes gut the whole house out and put new stuff in. So if you're like having to redo a bathroom and you need to put a new shower in, putting it on hard mode is going to require you to do a lot more steps in order to hook the thing up. On easy mode, you typically just plonk the thing down, tighten up a few bolts, connect some hoses and things like that. So we can play around with that a little bit later, but just to get us going, we're going to leave it on easy just to kind of ease us into this whole thing. But that might be fun to try out later on. Okay. And I've just started the game. I wanted to show you the other setting for general, but that's okay. Welcome to House Flipper. This game will allow you to buy, renovate, decorate, and sell houses. For now, however, you need to be content with this shack that you can call your office, and the laptop that is your command center. Hit enter to continue, or you can just click on it. Thank you for purchasing the House Flipper Garden DLC. New jobs have appeared in your inbox. Completing jobs unlocks new garden tools. I'll get into this in just a moment. Get rid of these little menus. Okay, there's our HDTV. Like I said, it unlocks new houses. It gives you an actual area map of a neighborhood where you can have new jobs actually pop up on the map. It will also let you save your before and after shots, and it also gives you, of course, new items that you can play around with. What a mess. I need to clean this up. So, the first things that we need to go, in the upper right hand corner is your mini map. You can change the scale with the plus or minus, and it tells you what your current time is. Because we have the day-night cycle turned off, it's not actually going to get dark when it's technically nighttime. And then we have the size of the garden that's added in the garden DLC. That's the size of the lot that you're on. You can see the bushes here, the grass. These tall things over here are weeds. I see. I can click my left mouse button and actually remove one of them. Remove. If you don't have the garden DLC, there's a very limited amount of things you can do in the grass. So just bear that in mind. If I'm doing some things, you have the base game, and I'm doing things in the yard that you can't seem to figure out how to do, it might be because you don't have the DLC. Below the garden area, we see a line that says our account balance. We currently have $30,000, just over $30,000 in our account, and that allows us to do things like buy tools and other sorts of things. Because all the stuff that you do, you have to buy. You have to buy the paint, you have to buy the siding, the flooring, all that kind of stuff. Give me just 1 minute. I gotta adjust the sound just a little bit. Those birds are really loud. Okay, that's better. They were making me absolutely deaf. Alright, sorry about that. So, bottom right-hand corner, you can see a couple of indicators for your functions, what you can do right now. If I right-click my mouse, I can change the tool that I have in my hand. Right now, I don't have anything in my hand. But if I right-click that and hold, I can do various functions. Now, you can see we just started the game. We can't really do anything except move things, which, it is what it is. We haven't done anything yet, so we don't know what we're doing. If you press the tab key, you can pull up your tablet. You can't do that now because you don't have one. So one of the perks that you can get as you level up or increase your performance in your career. If you hit tab, it'll pull up the tablet that you can purchase, and it will let you do things that you would normally need to do, like on your laptop inside your office. Speaking of the office, it is just like they said, it's a shack. There's nothing here. Got weeds all over the place. You can get rid of those. And there, you can see it's kind of filthy around the windows. There's green stuff on the in the soffit and on the little flashing areas here. It might be worth pointing out, I am not a constructor, a builder, or any of that kind of stuff. So I may say things that are, I may call that a soffit, and it may not be a soffit. That's a gutter. It may not be a gutter. So if I say something incorrectly, I apologize, but I may not know the actual term for it. I'm just going based on what I think it might be. So obviously we can't get in our door because someone has very helpfully piled a bunch of junk in front of the door. So we have a little pop-up help tip that says we press the left mouse button, we can dispose of the garbage. I've been doing that with things like the weeds. So the garden flipper adds this ability to get rid of weeds. So if I left click, I can remove weeds. You can see them disappearing. And the same thing with garbage. And it's fully physics enabled. These things are going to roll around and do whatever. And I'm just going to click on each of these things that will open up the access to the door. Okay? It's time to check emails on my laptop. So I go up to the door and hit E to open it. And this place is an absolute wreck. Pretty natty looking light. Got posters with holes on them. A bed that looks like it was used to hold a transmission. The bathroom in here is absolutely scunge. Right, so these are all going to have to eventually get taken out and replaced. We're not allowed to clean anything yet because we don't have the tools for it. We really can't do much of anything. If you look at a light switch, you can flip them on and off. It's kind of nice. And over here, you can just see this outline of an area where you can hang a piece of equipment. Now, this particular weird shape here is what they call, I think it's a towel radiator. I forget the exact name for it, but when we get to the point where we can plunk one down, I'll show you what it looks like. We don't really have those sorts of radiators in the U.S., so it looked really weird to me, and I wasn't familiar with the term, so I had to just go with the flow. So anyway, you can you can add a wall radiator on one of these funny-looking brackets, and here is our laptop. The laptop will allow you to find jobs, buy houses, and switch between them. You cannot afford to buy a house yet, but it looks like you already have your first email. We actually have a couple because of the DLC. So all of these tools right here just kind of strewn around. There's a chainsaw over here. The amount of playtime that I've got in the game, I haven't got to a place where I've needed to use these tools. So I don't know if you actually need them or if they're just clutter to make it look like this is, a place where someone might work and sleep in their office. But what we need to do is go to our laptop and find out what's going on. So in the mail, we can see we've got a little icon just like you would on your smartphone or something. It tells us that we have a piece of mail available. The map of the jobs, the browser, and the portfolio are. The portfolio is where your before and after images are stored, which we don't have any of. The browser is going to give you the ability to look at the various properties that are available in the game. And I believe more pop up as you go. And some of them are really silly, like a house on the moon. That's just, hey, why not? There's another one here for the Cyberpunk DLC. You can see it's got a little microchip symbol here. You purchase this house for $99,000 and you get a hacker loft, and presumably everything in here with theme with being a hacker. It looks like they have a Star Wars chair that you might find on the Death Star. These little symbols here indicate the Apocalypse DLC. This you can kind of see with the name, it tells you a little bit about what it's going to be about. So for about $120,000, we can buy a garage with a bunker. So presumably you go into that and there's going to be some sort of fallout shelter or something. This is an old house with a bunker. Uncle's bunker. I don't want to know what's going on in there. These little ones here with the flower icon, that's for the garden DLC specifically. And then they got another one for the apocalypse. And now that I'm looking at it, it looks like there's only one house that lets you do cyber. That's fine. So that's the browser. Click the X to get out. Map of the jobs are currently locked because we haven't got far enough in the career to do anything. We don't have any tools. So later on, we'll be able to come in here and look at some of the things that we can do in here. So it says right here it's locked. We need to complete 5 more jobs. 5 more jobs will have the bulk of our tools available to us. I have gotten that far. So let's go ahead and check out our mail. It's a very simple mail system, nothing fancy. Sarah Lewis is telling us that her ex-boyfriend stole the radiator from her house. Hello, I'd like to hire your company to put my house in order. I know from photos pasted on Face Spam that my ex-boyfriend broke into my house, made a huge mess, and stole the radiator. It is possible that some other things are missing too. Please clean up in the house and replace the missing appliances. I would ask you not to inform the police about the whole matter. I will settle it myself with my ex-boyfriend after returning from a business trip. Okay, well, if we don't accept the job, we're kind of sunk because we don't have anything else to do, but we'll go ahead and accept it. And once you accept it, it takes you immediately to that location. So this is sort of a shot of what this place is going to look like. And we have unlocked the mop. We have unlocked a new tool. From now on, you'll be able to clean dirty stuff using the mop. Perfect. So again, with our change tool, we now see a cleaning option, which is our mop. Okay? And of course, her house is an absolute wreck. Here's our tablet. I guess I misspoke earlier. I said that it would unlock later, but you don't get the tablet until you touch the laptop for the first time. My apologies for that. So this is telling us what we need to do, all right? So if we click on the bedroom, we need to remove the trash and clean the dirt. In the living room, we need to remove the trash, clean the dirt, and mount a radiator. Helpfully, it gives us the object or objects that we need to deal with in the household. We don't have to guess, what was it that they needed? And it also makes it so you don't have to keep notes. This is your notebook here, basically. And in the bathroom, we need to clean the dirt. So the store here is where we can buy all of the different things we need to fix stuff up. So we can buy doors and windows and all these kinds of things. And the prices are, they are what they are. I don't know how much a real door would cost in, at Lowe's or Home Depot or a home improvement store, but these are the ones that you've got available to you. They have various different prices and whatnot, I guess, for the quality. So these materials here are your building materials. You also have an option for ladders and scaffolding. You will need these later on. You can't jump onto the roof and whatnot. You'll need to have ladders or scaffolding and things like that. I haven't actually got that far in the game to need these, but I have had to purchase a ladder to clean the eaves of a roof. Various tools that we can use. I don't know what that one's used for. Things for the wall. If you want to put up, wood tiles and things like that, we can do that. And we'll get into that as soon as we start building stuff out. She said that she needs a radiator. So in the search area, we can sit here and go, okay, well, where's that going to be at? All right, the furniture. Is it going to be a piece of furniture? No, I guess not. What you can do is you can pop into the search, and you can look at radiator. Right? And it'll tell you, hey, there's a radiator, and you can buy it. We're not going to do that just yet. Over here, you got things for garden, which are your outdoorsy kind of stuff. Things like you can buy plants to plant in the client's yard and things like that. We've got our tasks that we just went over, and our perks. This is where I was going with the laptop, with the tablet. I thought there was an unlock for it, but you get that almost immediately. But see, these are the perks. Each of these perks allow you to get better at your job. It helps you in the long run. So things like cleaning. The penetrating vision will start to show or reveal more dirt on your mini-map, up to the point where you can eventually see all dirt. This is extremely helpful if you find it hard locating bits of dirty materials and whatnot. Your fast hands means that you basically move your hands faster. You can clean things quicker. Long range is another excellent one to get because it will start to do extra benefits. Your good mop will increases the ability of the mop to clean things a little bit longer distance. You don't have to walk right up on top of something. Your Ultra Hyper Mop 2018 is another improvement. But the last one here, disposal of garbage, you'll see here in a moment, that one makes for this perk tree very worthwhile. You're going to find that most of the houses that you go into are filthy dirty, and this will automatically get rid of the garbage when you swing the mop around. You have perks for painting, very similar to the cleaning. You can paint 4 walls at the same time, 40% less paint usage. This is a blessing to you because your paint cans may look huge, but they go down quickly. So 40% less paint usage means you don't have to buy as much paint. More money in your pocket. Your handyman perk, um, faster mounting later on in the game may be really helpful because you may have to be installing a whole bunch of stuff. The plastering one, yeah, when you get to plastering, that can be a bit of a pain. Your tiler hold up to 10 tiles, and normally you can only hold one. You got to get another one. Put it up, get another one, put it up, get another one. This one lets you hold a stack of 10 and just plonk them down on the wall or the floor. That's really nice too. These are like quality of life improvements here. Um, so once you get some of the more important ones, like your disposal of garbage, you can start to branch out to do things like handyman. Your demolition one has some really nice ones in here. Faster demolition. It takes forever to knock a wall down because you have to knock sections out at a time. If you've ever watched like Property Brothers when they're swinging their mallets around, they mash a hole, then they got to keep smashing and it just comes down in pieces. Same idea here. So if you can do it faster, get get the perk to go faster because it'll just help you a lot out in the long run, speed up the job. Your big professional hammer, um, it actually improves how well it can take down the pieces of the wall. So very nice to have. And then these 25% more muscle strength. I'm not entirely sure what that does. I think it might actually help you bust through the walls quicker, while this one takes out more chunks, and this one lets you swing the hammer faster. So they kind of work together. In the building section here, lower building price can build the max amount of walls in a line. So normally you can only plonk down one column of wall at a time, and you got to move to the next chunk over. So these are quality of life things. Faster building is definitely helpful because it just takes forever to build things. Your negotiation helps you make more money, and depending on your playstyle, that may actually be something you want to do first because you want to have the big bucks. So your higher payment when you finish a job, you get 50% extra for the job. Price negotiation. You can negotiate prices on homes for 15%. And then the quick jobs minus 10% of the job's requirements, which means you don't need to, if it says you got to put up, you know, 100 tiles, knock off 10%. You don't need to worry about that. And your gardener one only comes in effect with the garden DLC, of course. You got your digging speed, you got a better axe, and you can start to see tall grass, and then weeds, and then the molehills. Personally, these ones are a real help because similar to the dirt or to the dirty areas of the home that shows up with the cleaning, see all dirt on the mini map. This one here for the gardener sense, molehills and weeds especially, it helps out because some of these weeds like dandelions are really small. If the grass is really tall, you can't see it. So it just helps you clean the property up and get the job done faster. Okay, and then you have a camera, and you can uh, wherever you're pointing this thing is where you're going to take a picture, and you can take a picture of stuff that you're doing. All right, so that's that. So let's get into the house and find out what's going on. Oh, in the perks, I forgot to mention. It tells you here in this big red zero, new perk after 2 minutes of mowing, 4 plants planted, 28 weeds removed, or 1 mole exterminated, or a combination of them, I believe. If we do 28 weeds, we will get a perk point, and we can choose a gardener perk. And you can actually do that with the garden DLC. Let me just be clear on that. With the garden DLC, you can then just go run around and pick up weeds. These are the dandelions I was talking about. Really hard to see. Okay, so there's one. There's one here, and you can just kind of swing it around. And as fast as you can click, you can snap these things up. There we go. We've done 28 of them. Now we can turn on our tablet and choose what we want to spend it on. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can see that red 0 has turned into a green 1. So we can upgrade one of these things. So I haven't had any jobs that require me to plant. That's not available yet. I don't have a grass trimmer, so what's the point? But I can start to see tall grass and have it visible on my mini-map. So let's upgrade that. Right? And now you can see where any really tall grass is going to be, and it'll show up on our mini-map. Right now it doesn't really have tall grass per se. It's just weeds and whatnot. The grass just needs to be mowed is all it is. The tall grass will be like shooting up like a tree. So we can just go around and do some weed cleaning, and we don't necessarily have to get all of them, right? But what we're doing here, because it's not part of the job, but as we just run around cleaning up weeds, we help this number get smaller. So right now we don't have a mower, we can't plant plants because there's no reason to, and we don't know where moles are right now. They would show up as a big mound of dirt, by the way. You use your shovel to dig them out. So we can remove 95 weeds and get yet another perk point, right? So most properties aren't going to have like 95 weeds on them, but what you can do is every time you go to a place, just start pulling up the weeds. It's technically not what the customer asked you to do, but you know what? If you want to go ahead and do this, it doesn't hurt, and it speeds up your ability to improve yourself in the game. And that, in the long run, does help you out. So, because there's no time to pull out the weeds or anything, you just kind of run around and just find them. And I apologize if I'm making everybody sick, because I'm swinging the camera around so much. But this is kind of how I do it. You just swing your camera around, find places, and just keep clicking the mouse button, and it'll just pull weeds out. That's a new skill point. Right, so now we have to collect 152 weeds to unlock the next perk point, right? Or 8 minutes of mowing, or etc., etc. Now we can do the weeds visible, right? Now, something that I might want to point out here, since we have the ability to get the perk point, this Grass Trimmer 2019 increased trimming range is actually not a bad perk to get. Your normal string trimmer doesn't have that great of range. So the area that the weed whacker or the string trimmer is cutting isn't very big. If you select this option or this perk, it actually makes the string trimmer's radius go out further. So it makes it easier to do the edging and whatnot. We're not going to do that just yet. We're not going to get the weeds. We're just going to store that perk point because we don't need to spend them if we don't want to, right? So I can just go around here and I'm just going to run back towards the front. And then we're going to go into the house. Right, open the door, and there's the mess. And open up that door, and here's the mess. Open up here, and here's the mess. So every time we go into a new room, you see how there on the right-hand side, underneath the mini-map, it shows living room with kitchenette. We need to remove trash, clean the dirt, etc., right, in that blue box. That's because we're in this room right now, and it's telling us what we need to do to sort out the requirements for the room. Okay? And you can see over there, mount device, it says, from now on you have a tablet at your disposal. Oh, well, we already knew that. Okay, thank you. It says that we need to mount a device. So you're like, oh, where do we mount the device? Where does it go? It's the radiator. It goes on the radiator mount right over. Ooh. Get junk in the way. The radiator would go right here. Okay? If you notice on the mini-map, there's a little red sort of boxy thing. That's telling you where that device would go. Now, if we go into... Alright, let's clean some stuff up. Come on, pick it up. Alright. If you go to the bathroom, you'll notice that this radiator right here is white in the mini-map. That's because it's obviously right in front of us. So we don't have to do anything with that radiator. That also helps you locate what you're trying to do. Okay? So since I'm talking about a radiator, let's go ahead and buy one. Hit the tab key to bring up your tablet. Go into the store. And then we need to find a radiator. There it is right there. We'll buy it. And then we can mount it. Okay? If we hit our mouse wheel, scroll the mouse wheel, or use shift and whatnot, we can rotate the object around. This particular object you can't rotate because it can only fit on the wall where it says it's got to go. So we'll just plonk it down with the left mouse button. And now we need to assemble. So our assemble mode, remember, was set to easy in the settings. So we'll go into assemble mode. If I click and hold on this blue valve thing, plonk it down, and then we've just installed it. But we need to finish the job, right? So we need to tighten down the nuts, put this valve in, put that one in, and then turn it on. And now you see that the radiator in the right-hand to-do list has disappeared. We have finished that task. And now we need to clean dirt and remove trash. So we just run around here and pick up various bits and bobs of junk that's lying on the floor, right? This has got to go. That's got to go. The cans have got to go. That's got to go. There's just her ex-boyfriend just totally messed this place up. Okay, so now it says clean the dirt, right? So how we do that is we right-click and choose our cleaning instrument, which is our trusty mop. Now, I guess that's supposed to be like a string mop, but that looks kind of like an old broom to me, but whatever. It is what it is, right? So we're going to go and clean, clean, clean. Anywhere you see the schmutz on the floor, that's a place you got to clean. Now, you notice on the mini-map, there's no indications of where anything is dirty. So you just kind of have to eyeball it and, hey, that's dirty. I got to clean it. And you can see it just takes us a while to do. We're just kind of swinging this thing around or shoving it back and forth. Right, but after a while, you can see that all the junk starts to disappear and things shine up. And we have just completed the living room. Okay? Now it says there, hit enter to complete the job. You don't want to do that because that would complete the whole job, meaning you've done all the work for the client. You're not done yet. You still have 2 other rooms you got to deal with. So be careful with that. It's not really what you think it might mean. So let me go ahead and put myself back on moving objects. I'm going to show you what we can do to help this lady out, right? She's been done a disservice by her ex. If you click and hold on an object that is movable, you can hold it in your hands and then move it around. Anytime it's red, you can't drop it down because it doesn't fit or it doesn't go there or whatever. But you can take this teapot or this kettle and stick it on our stove instead of half off the whatever. Okay, and we can also pick up her chairs and her little vase. Get her table. Now this is how we rotate things. We just kind of roll our mouse around. If you want to do it quicker, this will actually align it on the XY coordinates. Nice. If you want to do something at a 45-degree angle, then just kind of scroll your mouse wheel without shift, right? So I'm going to plunk this down. Now it doesn't really matter where, because the game is like, you're not really supposed to, or you're not required to do this to finish the job, but I want to leave it in a little bit better of a state. That's kind of a dumb place to put it, but it'll work, right? And this room is done. Let's go into the bathroom, right? Clean the dirt. So let's clean the dirt, right? And we've just unlocked a new skill point. So we go into cleaning. Now we can do stuff. You can see dirt on the mini-map, right? This is the first thing I would get, because sometimes this dirt is impossible to find. Get this maxed out as quickly as you can, because the ability to see all the dirt on the minimap is going to help immensely when these houses get bigger, and they get bigger. Okay, so the bathroom, luckily for us, is actually done, right? We can help her out a little bit by, rearranging some stuff and putting things in some sort of sensible order for her. Right, there we go. I like to close the doors after I'm done with a room, only because it was closed when I got here. I'm going to return it the way it was. Alright, now get rid of all this junk. Click, 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 click. Alright, now we need to clean the dirt. So bring out the trusty mop. And then we are going to mop the bed as you do. Obviously, normally you would take the sheets off the bed and throw them in the laundry, but, whatever. Alright, so now we have done all of our tasks being complete. we have made ourselves a cool 785 bucks, and this job is now officially done. So close the sliding door, and everything looks good. We're good. So let's go into our tablet really quickly, go into tasks, and we can see and verify that we have check marks next to everything. 100%. 100%, and this little mounted device, and 100%. We are, in fact, done. All right? Now, you don't technically have to close the doors. That's just me. Right? You have completed 100% of the job. Nice little pop-up here to help you out. If you complete the job and it ain't quite done yet and you want to 100% it, this will help you out, because if you accidentally try to complete the job or you think you're done, this will let you know whether you are or not. Okay? So we've just made 785 bucks. Complete. It goes and takes a picture before and after. Nice. Not too much on the outside because we didn't actually mow anything, but that's what it is. Nice. First job done. These little loading screens have people's faces there in the bottom left. There has to be a TV in the bedroom. This particular customer, who we haven't met yet, when you build a house or flip a house for that person to try to sell it, one of their requirements is going to be that they have to have a TV in their bedroom. So if you have a house and you put a TV in the bedroom, he is one of the clients who will be happy for that house because it's got one of the requirements that he has. Just like on those flipping shows that you might see on HGTV, for example. You know, what are your requirements? Oh, we want it to have a pool. We want to have a nice yard. We want to be in nice schools. It has to have a walk-in California closet or something. You know, clients have requirements, and so does this game. Your clients will say, hey, for my house, for me to be happy, I need it to have this, 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 and this. Now, I can't show what that looks like yet because we haven't unlocked that part of the game yet, but we'll get to that and I'll show you how that works. But we are now back at our office because we've completed our job, and you can kind of see all the schmutz on the mini map. It's telling us that our place is an absolute wreck. So we'll get sorted on that in the next episode. We'll clean up our own place and take on another job and see what's out there for us to do. Thank you so very much for coming with me on this little journey, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.